Hey there, everyone. It's Lauren. Happy Friday. Day after Thanksgiving, United States Thanksgiving. Hope everybody that celebrates Thanksgiving was able to enjoy it and find some gratitude and some gratefulness, even in difficult times. I know people have lost loved ones and have been separated from loved ones. I personally had a great day. I spent it with just my children. My 4 kids came over. We got the Christmas tree. We had a whole bunch of appetizers. We had a small turkey breast, and that was it. We didn't have our 3-course meal. We didn't have dishes and cooking and everything everywhere. It was nice. They played games, they played PS4, we did the tree. Missed my parents, missed my sister and the kids, my aunt and my cousins, but it was a nice day. It was a good day to be grateful for. I am very lucky, very blessed. I know that some people are having a really tough time, a lot of losses, a lot of separation that people are having a tough time with. Not just yesterday, but all of 2020. That's kind of what I want to jump on here about. So I've been noticing in different social media groups, social media platforms, obviously a lot of people, most people are home more than they're out. They're working from home, they're self-isolating, not going out into the public, ordering things online, and that's all great. A lot of people out of work. I know that feeling. And so there's a lot of time. I know I've seen, experienced a lot of people taking that time and really starting to look internal and look at different ways of doing things and looking for or exploring different spiritual paths or different ways of dealing with what they might feel as anxiety or an increase in anxiety, or all of a sudden you feeling anxious where you never thought you felt like that before, or angry or depressed, turning deeper into addictions or just turning to addictions. There's just a lot. And so what I'm seeing is people asking questions about all sorts of things. So everything, all sorts of, whether it's religious, spiritual, all different groups. Just like, well, how do I know if XYZ? How do I start meditation? How do I know where to start in the spiritual journey? That's a big one, because there's a lot of people out there that are, well, first of all, there's a lot of people that are doing amazing work in the energy space, in light language, in personal healing, Reiki. There's so much. There's also a lot of people that are maybe not as authentic or not as self-healed. I think we're all on this journey that we're continually healing and continuing to work on ourselves. But there's some people that you will run into that kind of did a couple things, thought, ooh, I really like this, I'm going to make a lot of money on it, let me go sell something, products or services. So you just got to be careful. But anyway, what I've been noticing is a lot of stuff coming back in responses to these questions of like, well, here's 10 signs that you are an empath. Here's 3 ways to check your chakra. Here's whatever, these checklists. And while certainly there are signs and symptoms of all sorts of things, I mean, you can look up anything from traditional, doctor sites to the alternative, and a lot of them are valid. And what I would say is, or recommend, where I found, because I've done the same thing. I've grabbed the checklists, I've done the little tests of, looking for an answer. Okay, if I ask this question, they're going to give me an answer and I'm going to feel better. The thing about spiritual work is there's no pill. There is no pill. So it's really important to be discerning. It's really important to get to know your self, your intuition. If something, I just got the chills. If something or someone doesn't feel right when you're talking to them or working with them, then you don't have to work with them anymore. Because when you're on a spiritual path, and particularly when you're working in the energy realm, the energies, you're going to get more out of it if you're working with someone who you energetically align with. So if you are in the presence of someone, and that could be on the phone, or, energy is energy, and you just don't feel right. You feel like you just don't feel good. You don't feel positive. You feel scared. You feel anxious. Then they might not be the right person for you. Even if that person has been very successful with your friend or your parents or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Your own energy is different than everybody else, like a snowflake, like a fingerprint. Your energy field is your energy field. And I think that there's a lot of things and tools that you can leverage. And I think that the more you use, the better guidance you'll have to yourself. So things like astrology, more than just what your sun sign. So if you were born in May, like I was, May 22nd, then I'm a Gemini sun. But I'm a Sagittarius moon. My north node is Pisces. My midhaven is Aquarius. And those signs are actually have been more reflective, or have been better guides for me at this point in my life. Astrology is huge. There's so much to it. It can be so confusing and so overwhelming. And yet, starting small in different pockets and just understanding different things about yourself, different aspects about yourself. And there's so many free natal charts out there with descriptions. You don't have to interact with anybody. They're free. A natal chart is a natal chart. All you need is your birthday, the time of day. You can even do it without the time of day, and then your city and state. You pull that up and you start reading those things. And that helps you. What it does is, or what it's done for me, is look at things and be like, oh, that's why. So I'll give you a quick example. So North Node for me is Pisces. The opposite of that, meaning the South Node for me, is Virgo. Very organized, very detailed, very structured, very analytical. That's what I spent my whole life doing. But I've already done all those things in my past life. That's what the South Node basically is saying. You came into this lifetime with those skills. So it's no wonder why I was so unfulfilled in my whole life doing my job, because it was like been there, done that. But I didn't know that. I was good at it. Take any skill assessment that's out there. It's going to tell me to go do that job because I'm good at it, because I've done it. I've mastered it, if you will. But I don't want to, it's it got boring. It was unfulfilling. So that's a small example. So Pisces is the opposite. Pisces is, you got to get out there, you got to get more spiritual. Again, I couldn't tell you on and on what this all means. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's in whatever, I think it's in my 11th house. What does that mean? I don't know. But I don't try to understand it all at once. It's just little things. So again, back to that example of astrology, and again, this is just one piece, is if you just pulled your natal chart and you just started reading through some things, you're gonna come to a point, part of it, you're gonna come to some point of that chart where you're gonna go, oh, wait a minute, is this why I blah, blah, blah? Is this why I blah, blah, blah? And again, it's not to tell you, you need to go quit your job and you need to start something else, but it's a guide. It helps you. It's a huge relief. It's because it's your personal thing. And your siblings, your parents, your children, they all have their own. So it helps to understand where you came from and where, I don't want to say where you should be going, but where your, maybe what you came into this life to do is more in this space versus over in this space. And that just helps you. And again, that's one little example. There are so many people that do such great work at working with your energy and helping you to unearth traumas and wounds and help you heal them in a different way than traditional therapies do, where if you come and you say, I have issues with abandonment, you might kind of walk through what you think that came from and how you can deal with it. What I have found is that how you can deal with it were just Band-Aids for me. They were just, just think of it this way, or let it go, or whatever it is. But that all it does is put it back here, kind of like puts it back in the chest, in the Pandora's box. Whereas energy work and even, I'll just say energy work, which again encompasses a whole broad range of things. They can help really dig that out and really help you remove it and process that energy so it's not stuck. So me, I always say I get it stuck back here. Yours could be stuck over in your stomach, your heart, your shoulder. It moves that energy. Acupuncture, chiropractor, all these things working together really, really can start to make a difference. And you'll definitely resonate with one more than the other. And I think that by using multiple modalities, and again, I'm not saying don't do traditional doctors and psychologists and psychiatrists and nutritionists and I don't even know what, maybe you'd say a nutritionist is alternative, I'm not sure, but all of it's all on the table, all of it, every single one of it. Now, the one thing I would say is if you have say a traditional doctor, a general practitioner, and you go and you say, oh, well, I'm working with so-and-so who does this, whatever this is, whether it's astrology or energy work or Reiki or anything, or even acupuncture sometimes, chiropractic, and they really push you away from that, but you resonated with it, then you kind of gotta, again, go within, go with what feels right. And you have choices there. You can just kind of say, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to tell this general practitioner anymore what I'm doing over here, because maybe you don't want to leave that doctor. You've been with that doctor for a long time. Or you try to get that doctor to understand a little bit better about what kind of work you're doing. Or you find another doctor. So, and to recap, this really is just the beginning of a discussion around different kinds of health guides, I'll say. And that's spiritual, emotional, physical health. And really just a PSA to say, yes, obviously the social media world is where you find guidance towards different paths. And at the same time, try not to just take something that you see, take a list that you see, or take a test that you see and say, okay, this is my answer. Because I promise you this, and I'm going to say it, and every time someone said it to me, I wanted to punch them in the face. But the answers are all within you. I promise you that. I still am not great at it. I still find myself reaching out in certain circumstances, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll just ask this person this, or I'll just look up this. And then I really have to stop myself and say, okay, wait a minute. Why do you feel like this? Why do you feel like someone else has to give you the answer? And you don't always get the answer. I think I've said this in a few videos. You don't always get the answer right away. Sometimes you just have to ask, and you have to ask again. There's something I'm still asking about, and I'm not getting the answer. I'm not getting clarity. So either I know the answer and I'm not listening to myself, or it's just not time for me to find out the answer. And that can be frustrating. But that is the fact. That is the fact of this spiritual world, is that you're not always going to have an answer. Yet when you work through it and you do finally get the clarity, it's such a different level of clarity than you get from, say, going to a doctor because you're anxious and you get a pill. Going and doing the work and finding out why you have that feeling that you label anxious or anxiety is a game changer, an absolute game changer. So anybody that's listening to this that is starting their spiritual journey, that doesn't know where to go, just keep looking. I am working on a website, and my intention on one of the pages is to have not just links to people that I've worked with, and again, just because they've been successful for me, and there's others that haven't been successful that I personally will not be putting up there, but just because someone's been successful with me doesn't mean that it's going to align to you. However, I'm not just going to put a link. I'm going to have like a discussion. We're going to do like a Zoom call or something where you're going to be able to see the interaction with this person. They'll be able to tell you face to face where they came from, how they got into what they're doing, and what kind of work that they do. And I think that by seeing that, you'll be able to pick up on their energy and see if that person really resonates with me. I think I could want to have a conversation with this person. That's all. And I think that will help. And if there's anybody else that's listening that does some of this kind of work that has some services to offer, I'm happy to have that conversation and see how we can work together. I think that the spiritual world is getting to a place where we need to pull these resources together. There's so many amazing people out there and that are working in pockets. And I think that cooperation and collaboration across these modalities could form an amazing healing package, if you will. So that's my PSA for today. I am going to try to keep this under 20 minutes, and I'm going to head off to my son's hockey game now. So I hope you all have a great day wherever you are in the world, and a great weekend. And big doings on Monday with a full moon in Gemini, for those Geminis like me that are out there. And it's also an eclipse, maybe a lunar eclipse. I think so. But big doings. So be ready for it. Don't flip out if things seem highly energetic and high frequency. They will be. It's going to be a busy December. Talk later. Have a great day.